I'm starting the show with Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr., who is going to give us his firsthand understanding of the FBI raid into the Fulton County election hub, and also maybe some insight as to why the Director of National Intelligence was present as well, something completely unheard of, and our statutes rule against such domestic activity. Commissioner Arrington, good day, sir. Welcome to Indisputable.
Good day, Rashad. So happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for responding and being able to do this at a very short notice. Obviously, nobody expected this to happen. Can you give us some insight as to what took place, what you were told as a Fulton County Commissioner in Atlanta, Georgia, why this took place, and also what the aftermath may be?
Thank you, Rashad. So they sent us a letter requesting the ballots from the 2020 presidential election, the ballots and the voter rolls. Those documents are under seal and they are held by our clerk of Superior Court in the archives as part of her archives of Fulton County records. And we denied the request for those documents because those documents contain private and personal information and pursuant to Georgia law. They then filed a lawsuit for the exact same records. The judge did not allow them access to the records. So what they did was circumvent the judge's order who denied them access to the records and created this criminal charge or criminal complaint and served a criminal search warrant. Now, Judge McBurney had indicated that no one had asked him for the records and that he would be happy to give them the records if they asked. And I think they're scheduled to go back to court in a week or two. But the problem with that is they would have had to pay $450,000 to get copies of all those records. And so in lieu of having to pay those records and in direct contradiction to the judge's order sealing the records, they created this criminal search warrant, served it on our election center, and basically just stole 7 pallets of ballots, and did not allow us to do any type of inventory or anything so that we can maintain the chain of custody. They got original ballots from the election. They got original absentee ballots. They got original provisional ballots. And so if some of those items were to be missing, we would not be able to say that, what happened to them or where they are, right? I know he was looking for 11,000 ballots. He could lose 11,000 votes and there would be nothing that we could do at this point because the chain of custody has been broken. So the aftermath is that our attorneys are filing today a Rule 41G. As you know, I'm an attorney, so I get into this stuff. Our attorneys are filing a Rule 41G motion to limit the scope of the warrant. Number one, to also ask that the documents remain in the state of Georgia, and for a forensic copy of everything that is in that file. And so that is part of what we're doing. I would like to know, Dr. Richey, and I know you'll like this, the statutes listed in the criminal warrant are misdemeanor statutes, and the statute of limitations on those statutes have expired. So even if these statutes were, even if there was some criminal action, there would be nothing they could do because the statute of limitations to prosecute the alleged crimes has expired. But the criminal warrant and the criminal case are under seal, so we don't even know who the target is or anything. So it is just unbelievable. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this was just a theft of the ballots.
This is really unprecedented. So we got to navigate this as it comes. Bottom line, you have a criminal filing as your prerequisite in order to do the raid. That criminal filing cites misdemeanor statutory violations, which I think I'm correct on this. The limit was 2 years for those misdemeanors or whatever it may be. It has expired today. There is no action that can actually be carried out. Did a judge sign this warrant in order to raid the Fulton County election hub?
Yes, Judge Salinas, a federal magistrate judge, signed it. And what's odd though is there's an assistant U.S. attorney from Missouri, I believe, that is handling the case and whose name and signature was also on the warrant, which is very odd and out of order. Not the assistant U.S. attorney here in the Northern District of Georgia.
You know, we have worked hard. Our family, our civil rights leaders, they have shed blood. They have paid the unbelievable and unthinkable price so that we can have access, unfettered access to vote. And for anyone watching this, if you believe voting is not important, this should ring a bell in you that if voting was not important, they would not do all of this to keep you away from doing it. What is the end goal here? Because, Commissioner, even if Trump won Georgia, which he didn't, the election has been certified. Even if he won Georgia, that doesn't give him an electoral college victory. So why is this happening now? What do you think the end game actually is?
Well, I think they're just really trying to sow seeds of distrust in the election process, right? And trust is something that's very fragile. And we not only, it's funny because there have been 3 recounts of these ballots and votes in Fulton County. There was also an independent audit by the Republican controlled Georgia State Election Committee that they formed as a result of the 2020 election. And there have been no fewer than 10 lawsuits that were all won. And so there is the only thing he can prove from with those ballots is that he did in fact lose the election. In 2020, Joe Biden got 76% of the vote in Fulton County. I'm sorry, 73%, and Donald Trump got 26% of the vote in Fulton County. And he lost by 240,000 votes in Fulton County. If they were truly interested in corruption, they would have served a search warrant on Coffee County, where we have documented proof of people breaking into the elections office with the ballots in Coffee County. If they were really looking for the truth, he would, and if he thinks that Fulton County has done something corrupt, he would have also looked at or asked for the 2016 election results or the 2024 election results. But he's not looking at those results because he won those elections. And so it just shows that his motive is to prove, I guess he wants to prove that he won the election. But again, the ballots from Fulton County will just show that he lost the election. But I think, maybe Fulton County is one of the few counties where, you can maybe lose 11,000 votes. They may not even have a total of 11,000 votes in all of Coffee County, right? So Fulton County has, a larger number of votes. I have no idea really what the end game is or why they would be doing this. Frankly, it's moot. As you know, in law, once something is over, he's back in office now. He's the president now. What happened in 2020 is irrelevant. And it's already been proven that the Fulton County ballots and the election in Georgia was fair and free. And even the Republican Secretary of State and the Republican governor both signed off saying that we had free and fair elections in Fulton County.
And there is an exacting protocol to certify elections in the state of Georgia. And obviously that certification took place if there's less than 1% difference between the winner and the person who came in second place. There's an automatic recount that went into effect. This is a protocol by statute in the state of Georgia. All of these dynamics were afforded to the candidate and all candidates who run statewide or are on a statewide ballot. Now, what happens with Fulton County? What is the press from Fulton County today? What should we look for?
Well, we have our lawyers filing the motions today in the court. I'm waiting to get a copy of those, anxiously waiting to get a copy of those motions. I believe the judge is going to be mad that they basically circumvented his order sealing these records and created this false criminal narrative and this false arrest warrants on charges that can't even be brought because the statute of limitations is expired. The judge is not going to be happy that they circumvented his order, and these documents are still under seal. There's no way that they should have these documents. And so we're taking every step that we can to protect the private, personal information of the voters in Fulton County.
Let me ask you this because of the clear statutory language. Can Fulton County file a writ of mandamus, federal writ of mandamus, in order to compel the administration not to engage in the civil violation that's taking place now?
So that may be possible. I am not sure. Our county attorney thinks that our most prudent course now is filing a Rule 41G motion and hopefully getting back in front of that judge that denied them access to these records and letting that judge use his discretion to provide, I think, the best result that he believes is appropriate under these circumstances. But certainly it is not normal for
Right.
them to ignore the judge's order sealing the records and then to circumvent it by making up this criminal arrest warrant. And again, I think they just stole the ballots, right? They stole 7 pallets of ballots that were in boxes.
Yeah, we're going to stay on top of this, obviously. Commissioner, if you would, stay available to us because, once again, Fulton County may be a proxy for other jurisdictions. We've already seen them send letters to other states demanding the same thing. These states have said no. So we already know that the administration will send ICE to your state if you tell them no to these voting files, or they will send a raid with the DNI director overseeing it, which statutorily should never happen. So thank you, brother, for continuing the good fight and your leadership in Fulton County.
No, thank you, Rashad. And apparently they tried this in Minnesota, but the judge in Minnesota did not sign the search warrant. So we need everyone around the country to be on guard because this may happen to you next.
Yeah, well said. All right, we're going to stay on top of it. Thank you, brother.